what I want to talk to you today is concerns problem solving. Okay, and what do you think? Obviously, like everything, problem solving also includes several steps. Yeah. What do you think is the first and foremost step in problem solving? Would you say it is? Exactly. First, we identify the problem. We say, what is the problem? Yeah? Meaning, what do we know about the situation? What results are we aiming for? And how can we exactly, like you said, how can we define the problem? Yeah. So considering all those steps, we identify uh, the problem, and then we think about the alternatives. Yeah, what are the boundaries to the problem, or what are the possible alternatives for the problem? Yeah. Then we think about the advantages and disadvantages of the alternatives. Um, do we need, once we've identified the advantages and disadvantages of the of each alternative to the problem, we try to figure out what additional information do we need. Yeah. Then we think about the solution and the steps that we can take. And then we think about how well is the solution working? What is my evaluation? What adjustments do I need to make to the solution? So let's take an example, because I like to talk with examples. So um, give me an example. You do this. You solve a problem using all those steps. Think about something that you've just recently had to deal with that you find extremely challenging, and let's try to solve it. No? Anything? A dilemma that you're faced with, something that you find difficult to um, make a decision for, or if you don't feel comfortable, I can. Can you hear me now? Okay. So let's take an example of a problem. Let's take a problem that I am facing right now. Yeah, it's a big dilemma for me, and let's try to analyze it. Okay? Can you hear me? Hmm. So, I have a problem with the fact that the schools are about to open, and I do not have enough information on the format that the schools are going to be open, uh, in the format that schools are going to be open. And I also do not want to send my kids to school because of the situation with the coronavirus. So I have a problem. The school may force me to send my kids to school, and I don't want to be in that position where I have no choice. Okay? So that is my problem. That I might be forced to send my kids to school. So, what do I know about the situation? I know that it is not safe. Okay. What are the results that I'm aiming for? The results that I'm aiming for are obviously the safety of my kids and safety of myself and my family members. Okay. So that is it. What are the boundaries? The boundaries to the problem are the fact that if I don't send my kids to school, uh, they will miss and they might have to take another year. They might have to repeat the year. Okay. What are the possible alternatives? Um, there are none. Okay. There are no possible alternatives to this situation because if the school says you have to send your kid to school, otherwise, yeah, the possible alternative would be breaking the law, which I don't want to, I'm not prepared to break the law. Okay? So, there are no options. um, so, my alternative is basically breaking the law. And I don't see any advantages to that because I only see the disadvantages in breaking the law. Yeah. So, which alternative am I going to pursue? I have none. Okay. And my evaluation of the problem is the only alternative that I have is maybe if I talk to, because the school is private, and if I talk to um, the principal, the head of the school, and we may work something out, you know, saying that, and I am hoping that there are going to be other parents just like me who are going to freak out about the situation and they're not going to feel comfortable sending their kids to school as well. So that's going to help me a little bit. Okay. So those are my alternatives basically. Uh, and I have not pursued my alternative yet. But when I will, then I will think about the evaluation and the adjustments. Okay. So you get what I'm trying to say, Sanat? So this is like your problem solving cycle. Okay. Um, because we solve problems absolutely every single day. Okay. We have to come up with the most fitted, with the most um, good decisions, you know, healthy choices. And yeah, we do make choices. Exactly, even with small things. And It is extremely important to be mindful about your choices and be mindful about the choices that you make, and also the ability to identify the alternatives that you have or the impact that your choices are going to make on yourself and on others around you. So it's very important to think about all of those things. Um, Now I'm going to read you a little thing, okay? And um, we're going to discuss this, okay? So listen carefully, and if there's some kind of connection problem, then let me know, okay? So because you need to hear this now, okay? Okay, Sanat, are you on the same page with me? Okay. Okay. So my best friend is addicted to drugs, but he won't admit it. Jack always liked to drink, but I never thought too much about it. After all, a lot of people like to drink socially, get relaxed, and have a good time. But over the last few years, he started using other drugs as well as alcohol, and it is ruining his life. He stopped taking classes at the college and will soon lose his job if he doesn't change. Last week, I told him that I was really worried about him, but he told me that he has no drug problem and that in any case, it really isn't any of my business. I just don't know what to do. I've known Jack since we were in grammar school together, and he is a wonderful person. It's as if he's in the grip of some terrible force and I'm powerless to help him. Okay? I'm going to read this again. My best friend is addicted to drugs, but he won't admit it. Jack always liked to drink, but I never thought too much about it. After all, a lot of people like to drink socially, get relaxed, and have a good time. But over the last few years, he started using other drugs, as well as alcohol, and it's ruining his life. He stopped taking classes at the college and will soon lose his job if he doesn't change. Last week, I told him that I was really worried about him, but he told me that he has no drug problem and that in any case, it really isn't any of my business. I just know, I just don't know what to do. I've known Jack since we were in grammar school together, and he's a wonderful person. It is as if he's in the grip of some terrible force, and I'm powerless to help him. Okay, Sanat, what is the problem? His addiction to drugs. Is there any other problem? His addiction to drugs is obviously a very big problem, but because of his addiction to drugs, there are other problems. And he will lose his job. So he's kind of um, on a slippery slope. Yeah, he's on the verge of destroying his life. Yeah, dropping out of college, losing the job, and heading towards the street life, basically. Okay, so that is the problem. The problem is that this Jack person is about to ruin his life because of drug addiction. Okay. What are the alternatives? What do you think? What alternatives would you offer this person? Mm-hmm. Good alternative. What else? Go to school. So probably um, maybe speak to to Jack in a forceful and straightforward way to convince him that he has a serious problem would be an alternative to the problem. Yeah. Um, Tell him that it's time to stop drinking and using drugs, and or find a good friend who can change that. Exactly, maybe find a good friend. um, Maybe find talk to a teacher or somebody who has authority over this person, who he trusts and who he believes. Yeah, maybe show him uh, an example of a person whose life ended up this way, in a bad way, because of drugs. Yeah. Now let's talk about all the possible advantages and disadvantages of that. So, for example, what would be the advantage of talking to your friend and asking your friend to stop drinking? And Sanad, are you here? Um, we're considering alternatives right now, right? Alternatives to the problem. So, if one alternative to the problem would be to talk to your friend, yeah, what would be the advantage and disadvantage of talking to your friend? To make him back to good lifestyle, okay. But what is the advantage that you talk to him? You know what I mean? For example, the advantage of talking to him would be that you will try to convince him, yeah, to do that, to stop. But disadvantage would be that he may react in a negative way. He may not talk to you. He may not listen to you. He may tell you to go to hell. And he may just not, stop talking to you altogether. Okay. So these advantages and disadvantages can go on forever. But once you're faced, now, Sanat, what I really want you to do is think about the most recent time that you had to solve an important problem. Yeah, that you had an important problem in your life and you solved it. I want you to think about it and describe, try to remember and describe me how you solved it, what steps you took, what ideas you had, and yeah, do that. Okay, Sanat, think about a recent problem that you had and you had to solve it and how you solved it, what ideas you had. Yeah, that stuff. Okay, Sanat, I think your internet connection is not very stable. It's no problem. It's no problem. Just bad internet, sure. Think about a problem and tell me how you solved it. What was the problem? What steps you took and how you went about it, okay? Okay, Sanat, can you hear me now? Yes, from your life, just the most recent one that you can remember. You can remember the best. Okay? Mm-hmm. Yes. Now. Okay. Passport expiring date. Good. And. Mm-hmm. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. But what I'm going for here is that what did you do? You found out that your passport is expiring, okay? So what did you do? First step, what was it? You called to find out about how long it would take for a passport um, to renew, or you knew that at the airport, if you could pay extra money, they would give you a temporary passport. Did you already have that information? Mm-hmm. And then, and then, Uh-huh. Did you already know that in the airport you could do it? Uh-huh. So you asked, you gathered the information, right? First. Okay. Good. That's what I wanted. Excellent. Pretty much, I think. Anyway, so I think that it's pretty straightforward. Yeah, this analyzing and solving problems. I wanted to use more examples, but um, I think because of your connection and everything, it's going to take longer to respond. Yeah. So and plus, I think it would be better if more people would join us today. But so let's maybe call it